Hi everybody, hello and welcome. I hope you guys are doing very well today. These are absolutely beautiful and I just wanted to show you them. So this is Tulipa humilis. These are dwarf botanical tulips. The particular variety is Persian Pearl, and I really wanted to talk about them today because I just think they're so beautiful. So if you're tired of growing tulips from year to year and constantly having to rebuy them, or if you feel like you get really excited in the spring and you want your tulips to come back and then they just don't come back for you, or they come back blind, meaning they don't flower, no need to worry about that at all with this particular variety. A nice thing about humilis tulips is they're small, they're relatively compact, they have this really interesting kind of almost spiraling foliage that reminds me a whole lot of almost like an allium or a nectaroscortum, and the bees tend to look at them quite fondly too. Beautiful flowers, and just look at how small that is next to my thumb. Like, these things are tiny, 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 tiny. Okay, so if you want to grow Tulipa humilis, these are the types of tulips that really like to dry out in the summer, and they don't like to be too moist and damp in the winter either. However, I will say, compared to many of the hybrid tulips and many of the cultivated parrot tulips, for example, these ones here have a lot of staying power in the garden. They're a reliable repeat bloomer, and something that's not super common in the tulip world. I don't know if you can see here, they produce multiple stems per bulb. These guys readily multiply. I got this as a pack of 10, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 15 plants coming up. So these are the kinds of plants that are very, very hardy, which I know sounds kind of weird considering that they're tulips, because tulips, generally speaking, kind of wane off around negative 13 degrees Celsius, but these ones are robust and they can handle it way colder. These guys can handle up to negative 25, negative 30 Celsius. Forgive me, I'm not entirely sure what that is in Fahrenheit. I think it's like 20 something Fahrenheit. One identifying characteristic for humilis tulips is, I don't know if you can see on the edges of the petals here, they have this almost kind of, it's fibrous, it almost reminds me of like rice paper type tip. Almost all of the Tulipa humilis will have a dark center. Almost all of them will have blue in the center, which, as you guys know, that's a really rare color in nature. It's a true blue too, it's not like purple. Really beautiful. So these guys over here, if you do want to lift your bulbs, it's not necessary with these guys because, as I said, they're quite hardy. They're native to Anatolia, so Turkey and Syria. But if you do want to lift them like you would a gladiolus, you're going to want to do that before the summer heat gets too hot in about late June, and then you want to replant them again in about, I want to say, October, but that's not necessary. You can totally leave these in ground. They do very, very good in containers. They're relatively readily available, I think, in a lot of nurseries now, but I really 10 out of 10 recommend them. They do benefit from a little bit of feed kind of post bloom. You can do bone meal. You can also do like a shake and feed Miracle Grow, for example. There's just a plane going by, so I hope you guys can hear me. These guys bloom all at the same time. They're not the kind of thing that blooms sequentially so much, so you'll get no bloom action until one day, and then they'll all just kind of erupt at the same time. They bloom for anywhere from 4 to 10 days, really depending on where they're put in the garden. If they're in full sun, they'll tend to bloom a little bit longer. Some issues that people will get with these is they'll get a little etiolated, meaning they'll get thin and they'll kind of get flimsy and flop over, but that's not really something that's too much of a worry considering just how low and compact they are. Really, really good for borders, the sides of rock gardens. These guys do tend to be slug and snail resistant. I don't have any slug or snail damage at all whatsoever. If you do have pet rabbits, they will definitely eat this. I noticed there was a cat in the neighborhood sniffing it, and he didn't seem to care for it, so he just kind of went on his way. It's really quite incredible, I think, how nature just kind of knows what to touch and knows what to stay away from. But yeah. So these are just beautiful. They almost remind me of like a really enlarged version of like an Ixia bloom. But yeah, I just really wanted to highlight this plant today. I think they're really beautiful. They come in different colors. They're kind of a mid-season bloomer. They don't bloom quite as early as the Grigii or the Fosteriana or other botanical tulips, but they tend to be that kind of perfect sweet spot in between that and the more hybrid tulips. So yeah, actually, hey, I was just thinking, so while I'm out here, I want to show you guys my other tulips because I think they're so pretty right now. I mean, just look at that. I got my azaleas too. Got some nasturtiums, bergamot. This all here is all forsythia. Beautiful springtime, you guys. So yeah, I hope you guys all stay blessed. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Hope that I could teach you guys something nice. Got a lot going on here. It's kind of chaotic. I'm starting to finally move some of my houseplants inside, so that'll be fun. 10 out of 10 recommend these. I just want to show you guys against my hand just how small they are. Super, super cool though. So that's Tulipa humilis. If you guys find these outside in, even the dollar store sometimes sells these bulbs. Like you can find them a little bit more readily now here, at least in Canada, and I've seen them in the States too. But don't skip out on this one. It's a really beautiful tulip. And it has quite some staying power in the garden. So stay blessed, you guys, and yeah, thanks for watching.